Indianness is all around us these days. I mean, it just seems like almost everybody's got a little dream catcher hanging in their rearview mirror, or they got one of those little Chief War bonnet things made out of plastic beads and safety pins, or they got a little hula dancer on the dashboard. She kind of wiggles around, you going down the road. She's an indigenous person too, you know. And a lot of those boats down at Pueblo Reservoir got those little hula dancers on their boats because, you know, I mean, Pueblo Reservoir is a lot like Hawaii. And, I mean, then, you know, people are naming things after us without our permission. Jeep Cherokee, military Apache helicopters, Tomahawk missiles. I mean, isn't it kind of weird? I saw Land of Lakes Butter has an Indian woman on the little label of a dairy product. Who knew? Who knew that all the Indians up in the Great Lakes are actually historical dairy farmers? I can picture the children, the teenagers. Hey, Mom, can we take out the canoe? I don't know. You finished milking the cows yet? You know, it's just weird. I even saw Lakota dog treats at one of the pet stores at Bond Shopping Center. I don't know why they do that. I saw Mohawk carpet and on truck, and I thought, well, maybe in the middle of the floor, there's a slightly raised pile for a little narrow band or something. I don't know. But is it just me, or are things getting weirder all the time? I mean, people are very self-absorbed. We can just call ourselves Selfie Nation instead of the USA. And actually, you know, when we have an investment in what we're trying to make people think about us, we kind of exaggerate. And anybody who's done internet dating kind of understands that, right? You don't always get what you thought you were getting. And when I was young and lonely around the edges, internet wasn't even a thing. But we had singles ads in the paper. And the Colorado Springs Independent was one of those papers that had this. And the way it worked is you could write your ad a certain amount of words for free, had a little code number, and somebody want to respond, it cost them money to leave you a message, and it costs you money to retrieve your messages. That's how it worked. Well, I thought sensibly, like I'm sensible, I'm going to just read the ads that other women are writing. And they all had the word cuddling in them. Real weird. Example. Hi, I'm a petite blonde, new from Arizona. I like long walks in the moonlight, fireside chats, and cuddling. Or, very athletic build, I like mountain biking, horseback riding, anything physical, and cuddling. Okay? And I thought, that is a waste of words, okay? First of all, you're looking for a new love. If anything's going right at all, there's bound to be some cuddling involved, right? So I was not going to run a cuddling ad. I was going to show my creativity and that my mind is slightly different, okay? And that would attract people. So I was inspired when I was reading the label on a Mr. Clean bottle. And I composed this ad and ran it, and it said, industrial strength woman. Multi-purpose, non-abrasive, guaranteed to leave an everlasting shine. Oh, did I get responses? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Not what I wanted. I can't even talk about those. I wanted to call each and every person and say, that isn't what I meant. But I couldn't afford to because I had to pay. And first they ran it in the wrong column. Then when I straightened that out and it was in the right column, it was just as bad. And then when I tried to cancel it, they said, no, you won ad of the week. That means we're putting it in big, bold writing at the top of the page because you're getting so many responses. We can't take it out this week. So I'm saying that to let you know that I have my own firsthand experience with imaginative stretching the truth, okay? So, back to Indianness, okay? What is it about people when they first find out they got Native American heritage, they think they got suddenly dressed differently, talk differently, act differently. I mean, if they find out they got German heritage, they don't run out and buy lederhosen and take yodeling lessons. But all of a sudden, you see that thing going on like a Hollywood movie, that song in their head. Da-da-da, da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. And the next time you see them, they got a choker and a cool Indian-themed T-shirt. And the next time you see them, they got a beaded belt. And the next time, they got moccasins. And then they want an Indian name. Why? You got a name, it's on your birth certificate. That is your name. You bring honor to your name. When you hear cool-sounding Indian names, Black Elk, Good Blanket, Whirlwind Soldier, those are family names. These people didn't go make that stuff up. I mean, really. Go to a Halloween party. There's always some guy dressed as a cowboy. His date is dressed as an Indian. People say, well, what's wrong with that? That's cute, cowboys and Indians. I'll tell you what's wrong, okay? Cowboy is basically an occupation, and Indian is a race. So maybe next year he can be a construction worker and she can be a black woman. Okay. Now, you know that's not going to fly. But they don't think about doing it to us, right? So chokers are kind of cool, and they're really mainstream now. Used to be just for our warriors, but now everybody's wearing them. Bikers are wearing them, little old grannies are wearing them, and they look kind of nice on a lot of people. And, I tried to wear a choker once. I came out here from Vermont, and I seen everybody's wearing chokers, and I thought, I want to express my Indianness too. So I went out and bought a 5-row bone choker. Found out in a pretty short amount of time, you got to have a certain kind of neck to wear a choker. I mean, you got to have a tall, skinny neck, a young neck, or, well, at least a neck, which I don't really have. So in order for it to be tied on tightly enough that it wasn't all flip-flopping around and looking weird, I couldn't even turn my head. I was a driving hazard. And one day, I looked in the mirror, and I said, Sebrena, you do not look cool in that choker. You kind of look like, well, you look kind of like a constipated turtle. So I took the damn thing off, and I haven't worn it since. Okay. Now those shirts, those cool Indian shirts, you got to be a certain kind of animal to get on those shirts. You got to be a grizzly bear, a buffalo, an eagle, a wolf. You never see a little prairie dog or skunk or porcupine. You're not Indian enough. And if it's a horse, it's always got 2 feathers hanging down his bridle. Notice that? That's how you can tell it's a real Indian horse. And if it's a person, it's an over-exaggerated version of something maybe we once were 500 years ago, I don't know. Usually a guy in buckskins, bare-chested, built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, with a bone choker, bone breastplate, holding a buffalo skull up to the sky in a lightning storm. I think he's supposed to be praying, but I don't know anybody who prays that way. In fact, I don't even know anybody who can lift a buffalo skull above their head. Those are heavy. Why would you do that? Or the grouchy chief, downturned mouth, war bonnet, crossed arms, as if we are a people who don't know how to laugh and have a good time, And if it's a woman, it's always that same chick. You know the one. She looks just like a white woman in her features, exaggerated eye makeup, and black hair blowing in the wind. And beside her is a wolf. Okay. Yeah. You know the one. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I'm in a lightning storm and when I'm in a windstorm, I am scrunching my face and blocking the sand. But she's just there all wide-eyed and perfect. And she could do a Maybelline commercial in a tornado, right? And will somebody please talk to the greeting card companies? They have Indianness themes. Leaning Tree is one of those. I got a Christmas card. Had that same chick with the wolf, only they had a baby fawn, a deer there, in the winter with snowy mountains, and I think a little squirrel with a little nut in his hand or something. But about 6 inches from her head, there's a snowy owl. You know, wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you be like, I don't know. And to many tribes and nations, an owl is a harbinger of death. So I was happy to get the card. I opened it and I go, ah! You know, I was like, it said Merry Christmas inside. It might as well have said, enjoy your last Christmas. You know, so this goes on. And I think people gotta learn the protocol of what to wear to the powwow. You know, these things have meanings, but there's always what we call the new Indians, and they'll wear anything. I mean, anything that looks Indian, to them, they put it on. It's from all different nations. It's like putting on clothes from all the nations on earth, you know, wooden shoes, a Russian hat, you know, and our making up your own medals you never served, you know. Yeah, so there's this guy, he's got a Sioux this and a Cheyenne that, Navajo this and Apache that, and a Cherokee this and a Mohawk that, you know, and everybody's looking at him and he thinks they're smiling because he's all mixed up. And one guy says, you know, that belt he's wearing, that's a women's fertility belt. But he doesn't know. And when people are smiling and he's strutting around at the powwow looking cool, he's thinking they see me as a brother, right? Yeah, it's kind of crazy like that. And speak about mixed up. You ever seen Dog the Bounty Hunter? Yeah, I watched it late at night, make sure they're not after me. And he's tying chokers on his upper arms, on his muscles. I think he thinks it makes his muscles look bigger. Well, there you go. There's a helpful hint for all of us. If there is a part of your body that is small or unattractive, you can simply tie an Indian choker on it to disguise the problem. Right? Well, I think if you want to be a better Indian, a more better Indian, you get an education. Learn about the true history, what's happened to Native people in this continent. Do something besides role-playing, trying to look cool. Get involved in tribal land rights, water rights. Love and protect Mother Earth. She gives you everything. There's nothing in this room, at your home, or anywhere else on this planet that didn't come from this Mother Earth. And so I think that's it. And most importantly, just be your beautiful, original self. What's wrong with that? And, you know, well, in retrospect, I'm just going to say I'm Sebrena. I like camping, art, music, and cuddling. Thank you.